Welcome back to Idaho Today. Recently, I had the treat of touching base with two amazing stars in the NBC show Night Court. For those who are not familiar with Night Court, here's a little background. When the perpetually sunny Judge Abby Stone, played by Melissa Rauch, takes the night shift in her father's old courtroom, she presides over some of New York's most unique and unusual cases with an oddball cast of characters right by her side. This includes former Night Court District Attorney Dan Fielding, played by John Larroquette, who now serves as the court's public defender. And with season 2 premiering January 2nd right here on KTVB, we want you all to tune in. And as mentioned, I had the chance to speak with the stars to get the details. Check this out. John and Melissa, thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited to talk to you. John, I do have to say, a birdie told me that you've been to Idaho before. Is that true?
Yes, I lived in Sun Valley, Idaho for many years.
Yes. Okay. And then I also was told that you frequented the Costco quite frequently.
Yes, indeed. And also
Yes.
we would drive to Boise sometimes for the day and go to the Bon Marché and the movie theaters and stuff there. And yeah, do a lot of shopping in Boise.
Love it. My mom actually worked at the optical in Costco, and she was elated to help you with your prescriptions from time to time, by the way.
Ah, yes, indeed. Yes.
Yes. I grew up watching Night Court, and my mom was a huge fan of yours. And Melissa, my family, we are huge fans of yours from Big Bang Theory, and super excited to see both of you together in such a legendary show, if you will, right? Because there's such nostalgia and following with the original Night Court. I can only imagine how excited both of you are to be a part of the, I don't know what you say, kind of a revitalization, if you will, of this show itself. So give us a little background on the characters that you guys play, your relationship together, and how it's been, being a part of this project together.
It's truly a dream come true. Just as you said, I was such a fan of John's and the original Night Court. So getting to be here with him and in these sets, it's truly nothing short of a dream come true. And it centers around this Manhattan arraignment court in the middle of the night, and the stories that come in and out of these halls. I played Judge Abby Stone, who's the daughter of Harry Stone from the original, and she is coming to be the new Night Court judge. When she gets here, the district attorney leaves, and she realizes that she needs to, the public defender.
Right.
I know what our show is about.
It's been a long morning, Melissa. It's okay.
Thank you. So the public defender quits, and she realizes that she needs to go find someone. So she looks up her father's old friend, Dan Fielding, and pulls him out of retirement, essentially, to come back to Night Court. And they have this really beautiful father-daughter relationship, bonded together by their shared love of Abby's father. And then our world is populated with an amazing cast of characters. We have Larroquette as our bailiff, and India de Beaufort as she is our district attorney, and it's just incredibly fun to do, especially with this guy.
Yes, especially with this guy sitting next to you. John, as I mentioned, growing up watching you on Night Court previously, and I mean, if you could go back and talk to yourself then, would you have believed yourself saying that you'd be coming back to this role decades later?
No, certainly not. And as an actor, you're sort of a nomad. So once a job ends, you sort of look forward to the next oasis that across the desert that you can get to, and you sort of leave stuff behind you. And I mean, the show's always the original became rather ubiquitous, and because there were so many episodes of it in syndication and streaming, and so people have always there's always been pieces of it floating around the zeitgeist, but certainly never thought and had no intention nor desire to revisit the character until Melissa Rauch called me one beautiful, bright morning and said, "Hey, you're going to have to put a suit back on because you're going to come play with me."
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay, so just kind of out of the blue, Melissa, what inspired you to reach out to John? Tell me about that story. I want to hear that.
Well, we were toying around with the idea of bringing Night Court back, and I was working within a producing deal for Warner Brothers, and knew that they had produced the original, So I did some begging to them to grant me the IP for it, with the idea of could we get John to come back and reprise the role of Dan Fielding, and we reached out to him and asked if he would have a conversation with us. And although he was apprehensive at first, we kept talking over the course of many months about what it would look like, and he was very, very involved in the development process, and we had a lot of conversations about what that would look like and how Dan Fielding would return to television. And ultimately, of course, I was over the moon when he agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. And here we are with season 1 behind you guys. You left us on a cliffhanger, and now we're going into season 2. So what can you tell us about what's coming up?
We come into season 2 right where we left off. Dan has gone to Louisiana to pursue his dreams of becoming a judge. And first case up when he gets there is Roz, played by the amazing Marsha Warfield. And it's this really extraordinary reunion between the two of them, and getting to shoot that in front of a live audience was magical. And so we come back, we see why Roz is in court and what she's been up to, and it kicks off with a really fantastic scene between Dan and Roz, and then we find out if Dan Fielding will be coming back to the Manhattan arraignment court that he secretly loves so much.
I love it. And Melissa, where did your love for Night Court come from? I mean, our conversation here is really showing, your investment in this show and your passion for it. So tell us kind of the OG story of this.
I just remember so vividly watching this show as a kid and being so intrigued by the comedy that felt like nothing I had ever seen before. There's this sort of vaudevillian feel to it, while at the same time having these beautiful moments of heart that sort of snuck up on you and felt unexpected. And I think at the time there was things that definitely went over my head. But I remember sitting on the couch with my parents and my mom looking at me saying, "Cover your ears." And then that made me want to understand exactly why that joke was funny. And I always remember watching John, and now the fact that I get to see him do that incredible craft that he is in his bones, and see him do that live in front of an audience, it's just a dream, an absolute dream come true to watch and get a front row seat too.
Love it. Love it. I too can relate, sitting on mom's lap, watching the show, spending time with the fam. There really is a lot of nostalgia and warm feelings, I think, that come with this show in itself. From those who may have watched it, decades ago, to those who are new to it, or John, like you had mentioned, we're in a really unique time when it comes to entertainment, right? Like, there are shows that were produced so long ago, but now new generations have the opportunity to watch it, and they're finding opportunity to relate to it, and they see themselves in these characters, because there are shows that are truly timeless, and I think that this is definitely one of them when it comes to the character lines and just the stories and the things that happen within it itself. I want to know, though, are you going to be visiting Sun Valley anytime soon?
Yes, I'm always heading that way occasionally, a few times a year, because I still love that whole area.
Excellent.
And the drive between Sun Valley through Mountain Home to Boise is a nice drive if the weather's okay. So yeah,
Yes.
I'm sure I'll be back.